This is Doc Ock coming to you live and direct from Black Facts Headquarters Studio this evening with another installment of Doc Ock at noon and 9. Yeah, I know you see me jump up out my seat every now and then. Sometimes I just have to jump. Jump, Jimmy Joe, jump. Jump. Jump like I'm happy. And really get seated real well here in this chair because it's going to be kind of a hot seat tonight. So let's go ahead and get this party started. You know, the first thing I need you to do, if you're watching on Facebook, go ahead, give us a like. If you're watching on the tube, give us a thumbs up. Then go ahead and spread the word. Let it be heard far and wide. Let it be heard up and down, all forth through the land. Let it be heard that Black Facts is here to defend the absolute truth from our perspective. Absolutely. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and find a proverb for tonight. Let's see what we've got tonight. Okay. Okay, here's an interesting one here. I always find some interesting ones in here. There are more interesting proverbs in this little book. This little book here is a real jewel. I don't know how many years ago I bought this little book, but this little book right here, man, I'm telling you, this little book right here, whatever I paid for it, it was well worth it. Trust and believe that, because I've been using this for over a year. I'm still using it. I took a break. We did Keep Swahili Proverbs for a month, but we're black using it again, and I'm still finding new proverbs that I don't remember. Like, for instance, this one here. If the stomach ache were in the foot, one would go lame. If the stomach ache were in the foot, one would go lame. All right, if you say so. I don't know. That one is a little bit odd. And as I've said from the beginning, I am not an interpreter of Proverbs. I'm a purveyor of Proverbs. So I'm just going to purvey, and I'll let you do all the interpreting you want to do over there and see what you come up with. And if you come up with something that explains that in a nutshell, pass it on through the chat room, the chat function on YouTube, or in a comment on Facebook. Please do that. And by the way, if you're watching on Facebook and you're not seeing these images that you should be seeing, like this one over here, that's because you're not on YouTube. And last but not least, that particular proverb I just stated, the one about if a stomach ache were in the foot, one would go lame. If the stomach ache were in the foot, one would go lame. Yes, that is a proverb from Nigeria, a Nigerian proverb. All right, now, returning to our book here, the Black Panther Party, the graphic novel, okay, by David F. Walker and Marcus Kwame Anderson. That brother tried to take all the good names. He got Marcus and Kwame up in there. I don't know who Anderson is, but he's somebody's son. Trust and believe that. Meanwhile, let's return to the book. We'll just transition right on back to our book over here and go ahead and get it on for the night. We're in chapter 4, 1967's The Panthers Unleashed, an early encounter. An early encounter. By early 1967, the Panthers had rented an office on 56th and Grove Street in Oakland. They were regularly seen going in and out of their new headquarters with guns. But up until this point, they hadn't had any major confrontations with the law. All of that was about to change. Now, I just have to let you know, I love this part of the book. Now, why do I love this part of the book over any other part of the book so much? I love this part of the book because this part of the book features my homeboy, or maybe I should say my home car, my home ride, my home set of wheels. Oh, yes, that car looks a lot like Sheba. Sheba, Sheba, Sheba. My old VW 19, I had a 1960, I had a 1969. This one would have to be, oh, no, I had one of these too. This is a 1960, it's got the oval window. This is a 1967 Type 1 VW Bug with the oval window on the back and the glass over the lights. I know y'all don't know nothing about that. Over the headlights is an extra piece of glass. Oh yeah, they used to like to steal those in my neighborhood. But at any rate, here come the pigs, says little Bobby Hutton. Huey says, good, that's what we want. And here they go by. And you know, y'all know how it is. When the police ride by, one thing you don't want to do, don't turn your head and look the policeman in the eye. Because that's almost a surefire way to make him stop, turn around, come back, and pull you over. And see, why were you staring him down? I mean, it's like a confrontation you're having, basically. And so here you see the picture of the policeman looking at him, or at them, and then he checks him in his rear view mirror. He done passed by already. But you know what he gonna do? He gonna do the turnaround. Just remember, Huey says as he gets into VW, we aren't doing anything wrong. We aren't breaking any laws. Everyone just keep cool and wait to see what this pig does. And back in the day, that's what we all started calling cops. We started calling them pigs because that ain't no curse word. Pig is not a curse word. It's just a description. And if the shoe fits, hey, what can I say? Got to wear it all day. Here he comes, says Huey. This is it. Bobby says, you good? Yeah, Huey says. Nobody say anything. Only the driver talks. The minute one of you says something, the pig will try to arrest you for interfering with an officer doing his duty, says Huey. Here comes the cop up to the car. We aren't doing anything illegal. I'll handle this pig, says Huey. And he gives up his driver. He asks for his driver's license. Huey gives it up. And the cop looks at the driver's license and says, Huey P. Newton, that's your real name? Huey says, yeah. And this is your address? Huey says, yes, that's my address. The cop then says, what's your phone number? Like you want to take him out on a date or something. So Huey says, 5. The cop says, 5. Huey says, yeah, 5. The cop says, what the hell is 5? And then, I'm sorry. I'm trying to maintain my composure, but it's hard. And then Huey says to him, 5. The Fifth Amendment of the United States Constitution guarantees me the right not to testify against myself. Woo! That's cold. He cold cocked the cop. So Huey says, 5. Then the cop says, what's your phone number? Legally, I only have to provide you with my identification, name, and address. I've done that, and now I'm done talking to you. The cop looks at him and says, what's up with those guns? Let me see those guns. Huey says, no. The Constitution of the United States and the law of California give us the right to carry these guns in public. We are not breaking any laws. Now, funny thing about it, they still wouldn't be breaking the law today because it's not a concealed weapon. Now, if he'd had a pistol in his glove compartment and the police had opened the glove compartment and found it in there, that would be a concealed weapon. then you breaking the law. But a shotgun, a 30-06, what do you call those things? A carbine? Nah, those are not concealed weapons. That's why you see people riding around with their rifles in the back window of their pickup trucks. And they can legally do that because that means it's definitely not concealed. Everybody can see that they're locked and loaded. So then the cop is still asking him questions. And Huey says, and you can't see our guns. I'm done talking to you. The cop says, I asked you a question. Huey answers the question. 5. Cop says again, I want to see those guns. Who the hell do you think you are? Huey says, I showed you my identification. I've told you everything I'm required to tell you by law. Then Huey opens the door to the car. What? It's not advisable tactics. So the question now is this. Who the hell are you, pig? And he pulls out with the shotgun. You asked for my driver's license like I violated some traffic law and I wasn't even driving. Then you asked to see my gun, which has nothing to do with my driving this car. I have a constitutional right to carry this gun. Then Huey says the gun was not loaded because it is illegal to carry a loaded rifle in a car. See, Huey got him on tech. Okay, now, but now you hear that sound. The policeman hears that sound that you hear on the movies all the time. Click, clack. And Huey looks at the cop and says, now it's loaded. Because now it ain't in the car no more. And he's locked and loaded. He didn't have one in the chamber yet. Ooh-wee. Now, by now, there's other cop cars that have come. How many they got in the picture? They got 2 more cop cars in the picture. Cops all out on the street, taking up the whole street, blocking traffic. Huey says, I know the law, I know my rights, and he's holding his shotgun in front of him, locked and loaded, waiting for the cops to make the next move. Black people, this is Oakland, California now, black people on the sidewalk watching this go down. Another cop says, like they did with George Floyd, move along, there's nothing here to see. Huey says, no, you people don't have to move along. You all have the right to observe an officer performing his duty as long as you maintain a reasonable distance, and y'all are maintaining a reasonable distance. Then he says, you don't have to go anywhere. Another cop says, what are you doing with that gun? And Huey looks the cop dead in the eye and says, I'm defending myself, which is my legal right. And I'm warning you, if you reach for your gun, if any of you pigs reach for your guns, I'll blow your brains out. Now, they hadn't asked that question, but he's giving them an answer to a question they hadn't even asked yet. Huey stands his ground. You hear me? You racist pigs, the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense is here to protect ourselves and our community from the violent, racist attacks of fascist pigs like you. That's what I'm doing with my gun. What are you going to do with your guns? He gives the cops a choice. Dang. Whew. This is a heavy graphic novel. I didn't know it was going to get this heavy. I hadn't read all this in advance, y'all. So I just have to let you know. It's a surprise to me, too. Although I kind of have an idea how the story went, but I didn't know what parts they were going to include and which ones they weren't. So now you see a picture of 3 mad-looking cops, scowls on their faces, lips pursed, staring down Huey and the crowd. Huey stares them down with a half scowl on his face because he ain't all the way scowled up yet. Then the cops kind of look at each other, stop staring at Huey. Huey keeps staring him down. Then the cops whisper to each other. Huey keeps on staring him down. In February 1967, less than 6 months after forming the Black Panther Party for self-defense, had their first encounter with the police in Oakland. And what did the police have to do? They spun around on their heels and took off the other direction because they weren't ready for Negroes with guns in 1967. Not a single shot was fired. No one was injured, but war had been declared, and the people in the neighborhood knew it because they sat there, they stood there and watched this go down. The intersection at 55th Street and Market Street in Oakland was an exceptionally busy thoroughfare with no traffic light. It was a dangerous intersection with frequent accidents. Several black children from a nearby school had been hit by passing cars with at least one fatality. Members of the community reached out to the Black Panthers for help in trying to get the city to install a traffic light. But the city claimed, we're sorry, we don't have any money in the budget for that. Determined to keep the neighborhood safe and serve the community, the Panthers began to serve as crossing guards, both before and after school. Within several months, all of a sudden the city found the money and they installed a traffic light. Despite the fact that they said earlier they didn't have the money. All of a sudden they found a way. Maybe they took up a collection. That's probably what they did. They probably took up a collection at the down at the police station and the city hall. They probably took up a collection and the local churches. That's probably what they did, and they just raised some money because they sure enough claim they didn't have the money. Somehow they came up with it. Now we're getting ready to introduce another character into this little melodrama here, but right now we're gonna keep it real mellow because you know I'm a mellow fellow. And we're going to come back and introduce this other character tomorrow night. So be here for the real deal because as you can see, this story is about to get real. This story is about to get real, very, very real. And as you can see, the same issues we're dealing with today, we were dealing with in 1967. And part of the reason this all goes together with our whole celebration of Malcolm X's 96th birthday. So Malcolm would have been 96 if he'd lived this long, number one. Number two, the Black United Students and Black History Month came out of a celebration or a commemoration of Malcolm's assassination on February 21st, 1968. We had a commemoration commemorating his death right here at Kent State University. So that was 4 years after the man had been assassinated. And the Black United Students formed themselves into an organization in April of that same year. That was the year that Martin Luther King was assassinated. So this happened around April. Well, it was April and February and then April of 1968. So February, we had the commemoration. In April, Martin Luther King was assassinated. Before school let out, the Black United Students formed an organization here at Kent State. And that organization, called the Black United Students, or BUS, was modeled after the Black Panther Party in Oakland. And as a matter of fact, what the Black Panthers were dealing with in Oakland is a very crucial part of why the Black United Students formed an organization here at Kent State. And it's part and parcel of the whole story of how Black History Month was founded. Because the first Black History Month in the nation happened right here at Kent State University. So all of this goes together. If it seems like I'm just putting disparate things together, I'm not at all. And I hope y'all were able to catch the soundtrack to Malcolm's life that I played earlier on my Malcolm X Speaks uh, um, playlist. I add to that every weekend so that you can see not only the um, live streams that you might have missed, but you can also see a number of videos. And today, the videos I played were not a Malcolm speaking, but they were about the music that Malcolm was introduced to when he first got to Boston at the Roseland Ballroom. So we had music by Cab Calloway, Duke Ellington, Jimmy Lunsford, Jimmy Rushing. We even had Dean Collins up there. I know y'all ain't heard of no Dean Collins, but you need to check out Dean Collins because he was known as the King of Swing. Funnily, none of us know anything about this dude who was supposed to be the King of Swing. But check it out anyway. And then tomorrow, we're going to deal with something else on Malcolm. We're going to do a whole piece on the Pachucos. Yeah, and y'all probably ain't heard of the Pachucos either. But the Pachucos were inspired by what black folks were doing with our style. They picked up on our style. These were Mexicans, Mexican Americans, who picked up on the style of black folks all the way out in LA. The style that we had wearing them zoot suits that you see Denzel and Spike Lee wearing in the movie that Spike made called Malcolm X. Yeah, these Pachucos picked up on that, and it was out of that whole thing, that whole piece with the zoot suits, that there are now major Hispanic actors, Mexican actors in Hollywood on the stage and the screen. Some of them you know very well, like Edward Olmos. Y'all know Edward Olmos because he's that ugly looking dude. They always bring him up. They want to bring up some badass criminal kind of OG gangster kind of dude because his face is real pockmark and everything. But when he first got famous, he got famous in a play called Zoot Suit. They brought off in LA. A bunch of amateurs. They had people coming from all over the world to check out a play called Zoot Suit. And I know most of y'all, if hardly any of y'all have ever heard of this. So this will be something really fresh and new. Malcolm X, the life of Malcolm X, the effect of Malcolm X, the effect of black people on peoples from all over the planet. So check that out. I already got it set up. It'll be popping up at noon tomorrow. That's on a Sunday. So check it out. And you don't have to, some of it you can listen to. You don't always have to watch, but a part of it is going to be a documentary on the Pachucos. And you'll get to see what these zoot suits really look like and the effect that they had on people. But we'll also talk about the zoot suit riots, because zoot suits were the only style in America. It's truly like the only American original clothing style. And it was so off the chisane that it caused a riot, straight up race riot out in LA. So y'all want to tune in for that so you can get the details and know some more about that so you can tell your friends. In the meanwhile, I see you out there, Tony. Good to see you. I'm going to give you a call in a minute. And Yeshua, good to see you as well. Peace out to all of y'all. All you liquor ones out there, please make sure to go ahead and put your liquor head on your liquor pillow, on your liquor bed. Close those eyes and wait for that sun to rise. And when those sunbeams start beaming down on your eyes, you know that it's time for you to rise and shine and greet the new day in a whole new way. Yeah, it's 9:30. Thank you very much for letting me know it's 9:30 over here. Okay? I hate when this thing talks to me. It always loves to talk to me, but I don't always want to hear it. So, where was I at? Oh, as for you adults, y'all know what to do too. Go ahead, give us a like if you haven't done that already on Facebook. If you're watching on YouTube, give us the thumbs up. And whether you're looking on Facebook, YouTube, or whatever, maybe you're catching the rerun at a later time, please do become a sustaining member of Black Facts Educational Research Incorporated. We are a nonprofit 501c3 organization with no funding except what comes from donations from viewers like you. So go ahead, send us that good donation. We're giving you 4 ways to do it on Facebook, YouTube, on our website. You can go to any one of those places and make a donation on the website, blakfacts.org. Look for the link at the top of the page. On YouTube, we put a link on there below each of our live streams in the description area. You'll see a link taking you right to the web page. And on Facebook, find our profile picture, click the profile picture for the rest of this week. You'll be able to make a donation by just clicking the profile page. It'll take you straight to the link. Otherwise, if you after this week, then you have to go to, if you're on the phone, use the notifications. Go to your notifications on Facebook, and you'll see there'll be a link over there. Or if you're on the computer, it'll be below each live stream on the computer. So I just gave you 4 different ways to become a sustaining member. What does that mean? That means you can make a donation in any $5 increment you want. 5, 10, 15, 20. Long as it's cash money. Okay? And a sustaining member is one that says, okay, I want to donate $5 a month over a period of 12 months. $60 a year. It's way less than $1 a day. It's only like $1 a week. It's around about $1. It's a little more than $1 a week. Okay? So that would be really good because we need those sustaining donations that come in on a regular basis, not just a one-time thing. Don't make it a one-off, okay? Because that's like giving us the brush off. Don't do that. Meanwhile, we're going ahead on into our extra, and we will be back tomorrow. Look for the playlist at noon. We're going to drop that playlist on you at noon. And tomorrow night at 9, we'll be back, introducing a new character in the story, the Black Panther Party graphic novel style. Peace out, y'all.